Are you looking for the best 3D printer for miniatures and AMP Wargames models? In this video we will look at some of the best 3D printer for miniatures and AMP Wargames models on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Eligu Satin 2. The Satin 2 is bigger, brighter, and better than its Satin predecessor in almost every way. This second-generation printer does a lot of things well and is a great choice for 3D printing miniatures. Impressive features of the Satin 2 are its big 10-inch screen and a build volume of 219x123x250mm. The 8K resolution of the monochrome display is another improvement. With this setup, you get an XY resolution of 28.5 microns. This is enough to print several of your favorite tabletop miniatures at once, at high speed, and with all of their smaller features kept. The printer has a front-facing power button and a ventilation hole in the case, both of which are upgrades over the original. The button makes it much simpler to start the machine, and plugging in a supplementary ventilation line is a breeze with the casing outlet. There is also an air filter that you can just plug in and use, even though the purifier is not sufficient on its own given the massive build volume. The 2 also lacks the original's Ethernet interface, limiting networking options. The Satin 2 does do a lot of things right as a whole. Brand new LED projectors, a reimagined touchscreen interface, and a distinctive appearance. The price of under $500 is also right in terms of quality and abilities. This is the best 3D printer for miniatures if you need high-quality minis and want to print many smaller models or several huge ones at once. At number 2. Phrozen Sonic Mini 8K. The Phrozen Sonic Mini 8K is a bit different from the rest of the 8K printers. With a much better LCD screen and superior print quality, it stands out from the crowd. The screen on the Mini 8K has an XY resolution of 22 microns. It's a big change from the Mini 4K, which had a maximum resolution of 35 microns. The higher resolution makes the models clearer and makes the details stand out. It also makes the lines between the layers almost impossible to see. Phrozen has added an extra linear rail on the Z-axis, which makes the printer more stable and improves the quality of your printed miniatures. The UV light source is also improved so that light is projected in a more uniform manner. It makes the picture sharper and speeds up the resin curing. The Sonic Mini 8K features a new laser-cut build plate that holds prints very well. In fact, sometimes too well. Print removal is a tough job on the Mini 8K, and it can take a few tries before you get the hang of it. Some users also feel like the print space is too small for big resin 3D models. The touchscreen interface is also showing its age, and a larger front display would have been a welcome improvement from Phrozen. Currently, on the hobby market, the Sonic Mini 8K is one of the sharpest 3D printers to print miniatures with right now. The prints are clear, show all the features, and are of the highest quality. This printer is great if you are looking for a quality resin printer and put print quality above everything else. At number 3. Anycubic Photon D2. The Anycubic Photon D2 is the company's newest resin 3D printer in the low price range. It has some cool improvements over the Photon Mono 4K and is a great choice for people who want to buy their first resin 3D printer to print miniature models. A notable improvement on the Mono 2 has its screen, with more pixels and a bigger size. Even though the print area is bigger, you still get the same 35 microns XY precision as with the Mono 4K. So you can print minis that are a little bit bigger while keeping all their small details. The build plate comes with a laser-engraved checkerboard design. This design makes your prints stick better to the bed and makes sure that the models stay put on the printing surface. The UV light source is also brand new, and it is made to light up the LCD screen more evenly. The direct result is that your D and AMP winking and laughing smiley prints will have less obvious layer lines and a smoother surface. Plus, it helps the resin harden faster, so you can print a nice layer in a rapid 1.53 seconds. All of these changes are good, but the printer still doesn't have an air filter or Wi-Fi. An air filter would have been great to cut down on the smell and toxic fumes from the resin, and Wi-Fi is pretty much a standard in 2023. These are still fair trade-offs, and the benefits of the price far outweigh them. You can get a resin printer that looks as good as it works for around $200. If you want to print miniatures but have a restricted budget, this printer is an excellent option. At number 4. Creality CR M4. The Creality CR M4 is an enormous 3D printer. It has a build plate that is 450mm in both directions with a 470mm print height. It is one of the biggest FDM 3D printers for miniatures that you can buy. With the M4, you get the direct drive Sprite extruder, which is known for its reliable extrusion capabilities. You can print flexibles almost as easily as other 3D printing materials. If there is any unevenness on the large printer build plate, the auto-leveling probe will help smooth them out, and the filament sensor will stop the print in case the material runs out. With the large print area of the machine, these are pretty much a must-have. This print size is great for 3D printing terrains, castles, huge ogres, and all kinds of magical models. Most of the time, resin printers give up build volume for better print quality. But with the M4, you can print one big model or a bunch of small ones at the same time. In our review of the CR M4, we found that the quality of the prints was great and on par with most FDM 3D printers. When the frame is this big, the prints often have problems with ringing and ghosting. But the CR M4 does a good job at reinforcing it and gives little room to complain. The higher noise levels and sticky print surface may have been the main problems we could find. The printer's cooling fans are loud and bothersome in a quiet room. Materials like PET and TPU stick a little too well, making it hard for prints to come off the build plate. Overall, if you're looking for a big FDM 3D printer to print larger models of your towering castles, the CR M4 has enough room for you to do this. It makes for the best 3D printer for miniatures if you want to focus on big models, and is a perfect match for printing cosplay items and props as well. At number 5. Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K. 4K resin 3D printers are slowly becoming the norm in the resin 3D printing world. They offer an exceptional surface finish while being able to replicate the tiniest of details owing to the increased resolution. The Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K is a true testament to the quality of 4K screens. The Sonic Mini 4K has a screen resolution of 3840 x 2160 in a 6.1 printing area, which gives it a pixel density of almost 772 ppi. This translates to an XY resolution of 35 microns, which is the highest amongst any other similar MSLA 3D printer. It also uses a monochrome LCD screen, giving you faster prints and a longer screen life. For a resin printer, it is extremely beginner-friendly. It requires minimal fine-tuning and effort from your side. This is especially beneficial for D and amp winking and laughing smiley hobbyists who are looking for a consistent high-quality 3D printing experience without having to deal with the drawbacks of resin 3D printers. At number 6. Anycubic Photon D2. Digital light processing, DLP, is often used in industry resin 3D printing, but it is still a relatively new idea in the consumer market. However, Anycubic has broken the mold with the Photon D2, making DLP technology accessible to the average enthusiast. DLP printers don't use an LCD screen between the UV light source and the tempered glass. Instead, DLP 3D printers cast the light directly onto the tempered glass using thousands of tiny mirrors. The fact that the Photon D2 uses DLP technology to print detailed miniatures is all you need to know for now. The D2 delivers prints with sharp edges and details, the textures are correct, and there is little to no aliasing or the staircase effect. In terms of features, the D2 has a laser-cut build base that makes it easier for the resin to stick to the printing plate. It only needs 15 W of power to work, compared to the 40-45 W that MSLA 3D printers need. A DLP light source also has a lifespan of about 20,000 hours, almost 10 times that of an LCD screen. The machine's greater price and smaller size are the only two drawbacks. The D2 has a build size of 165 x 131 x 73 mm, which isn't that big, especially since it costs $449. However, the high print quality, extended component life, and precise dimensions more than make up for the high upfront investment. The details of what the Photon D2 can print are about the same as what an 8K MSLA 3D printer can do. The D2 is one of the best 3D printers for miniatures owing to its high print quality and user-friendliness. At number 7. Creality Ender 3 V2. The Creality Ender 3 V2 is a worthy successor to everyone's favorite, the Ender 3. The V2 keeps the same looks as its predecessor while improving upon a lot of the features that the Ender 3 lacked. The Ender 3 V2 features a color LCD screen on the front with a great UI. It has a filament feeder knob, a toolbox at the bottom, and even belt tensioners for easy adjusting of the belts. The addition of a manual power supply combined with new TMC stepper drivers makes the V2 more reliable while being quieter when in operation. The things that make the V2 a great choice for 3D printing minis are its ease of use, low price, and decent printing quality. Combining this 3D printer with the many available Ender 3 upgrades and the best filaments for the Ender 3, you can print high-quality miniatures on a budget without having to deal with the mess of resin 3D printers.